Hey there folks, this is GreenXI, welcoming you right back to Let's Play Danganronpa 2. This is episode 10. In last episode we did all of the investigations surrounding the death of our leader, the murder of our leader Byakuya. And today we're going to be starting off the trial. If you saw my series of Danganronpa 1, then you'll know that what we got coming up is the murder trial. And it means that there's a lot of voice acting, so I won't be talking as much as in a regular episode of the series. And that means that I'll be ramming up the volume for all the voice acting and stuff. And I will talk now and again if it's just Hajime talking to himself and all that sort of stuff. Anyways, let's set our skills because we haven't had a chance to do that yet. Lost in Thought we bought. Slightly increase the time limit for each phase, I wouldn't mind that. Slightly steadies your aim, I would like that. We got another 5 points left to use. Algorithm, what's that do? Increase the speed of memorizing. Statement, I would like that. But let's have a look to see if I bought anything else. Nope, okay. Just nab it then. Might as well chuck everything that we got on. E-handbook, let's see what we got. Truth bullets. One file 1. I think it's about the 10. Estimated time of death is 11:30 PM. Stabbed 10 times between the throat and abdomen. Body has no other external injuries, no chemicals such as poison. Body under the table is face down as if Byakuya was searching for something. Okay. The knife, bloodstained knife was found under the table. Bloodstain under the table, pool of blood. A lot of blood was splattered. No sign the body was dragged. Okay. Gaps in floorboard. 0 gaps in the floorboard. AC timer. It was set for about 11:30 PM to go off. Is there more? There should be more. Yeah, and the one in the office. Same time. Night vision goggles were found under the table with the body. Apparently it came from the supermarket. Not many other places it could have come from. Embarrassing pose. I don't know if that's going to come into it. We'll find out. I remember once we start going through it, because I do sort of remember multiple choice stuff quite well, but not necessarily other stuff. Mikan tripped and fell in the dining hall during the blackout. The time the lights came back on, she ended up in a compromising position. I think that makes her suspicious, because she was moving around, obviously, when the lights were off, but that don't necessarily mean anything. The case, the one he had with him, had security equipment inside. Buki's account, she knew all the sounds and all the talking. Irons in the storage room. Why are there 3 of them? We'll find out. Storage room tablecloth had blood on it. Taotao's account was that the gas stove in the kitchen is powered by electricity, so he couldn't use it as a light. Party dishes. Poured his heart and soul into cooking various dishes. Only Akane and Peko were the ones to eat. Might be good to know. Fire doors, they shut when there's a fire. Kitchen equipment list, everything was there except for one knife. Jackie's account outside. Let's have a look. Fuyuhiko apparently came to the old building but walked away, so he didn't come in. Murder threat was in Byakuya's room, which is why he was so protective of everyone. Kazuichi's account. During search for Byakuya after the blackout, Kazuichi headed straight to the office. Didn't see anyone there, including Peko, who was supposed to be guarding the case. Mikan's autopsy results. What was this one about? Several puncture wounds to his chest and abdomen. We knew that already. The wounds were inflicted by a thin, sharp weapon, roughly 5mm in diameter. And Nekomaru's account, finally, he went to go to the bathroom. He kept trying to use it before the party started, but someone was using it the whole time. He was able to enter the bathroom after Byakuya's body was discovered. So what could that be about? Let's get started. I'll see you now and again, like I said.
Now then, let's begin with a simple explanation of the class trial. During the class trial, you will present your arguments for who the killer is and vote for who done it. If you vote correctly, then only the blackened will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong person, I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and that person will earn the right to leave this island.
Such a cruel rule!
Before we begin, I'd like to confirm one thing. Is there really a killer among us?
Most definitely! There's no doubt that the blackened is lurking among you! Such a sad state of affairs, isn't it? By the way, this class trial is gonna be 100% fair, so there's no need to worry. I'm the type who hates favoritism and prejudice. Well, not as much as I hate Monami, of course.
You hate me that much?
Now, let's begin!
You're telling us to begin, but what are we supposed to do?
No complaining, let's just settle this with our fists.
Were you even listening to the rules? Didn't that Byakuya bastard get killed in the dining hall, huh? then everyone there is a fucking suspect.
Yeah, what you're really trying to say is that you're not the killer, right?
No shit. You guys went off on your own and started killing each other. This has nothing to do with me.
Huh? What does that mean?
Anyway, why don't we try talking about the most pressing issue on our minds?
Huh. The most pressing issue on our minds?
Where we found the body. It's very strange to find a body underneath a table.
Then, let's start with that mystery.
The reason why Byakuya's body was discovered under the dining hall table. We can start with that, but ultimately, we need to find out who murdered him. If we can't do that... No, thinking about if is a waste of time. We have to do this, no matter what. So the class trials finally started. From this point on, I'll provide simple tutorials, okay. I'm sorry, but please excuse my year-tainting rudeness. As things progress during each class trial, you'll engage in a number of non-stop debates that were in the first game as well. During these discussions, all your classmates will speak one after the other without any breaks. It's up to you to reveal any lies or mistakes contained within their statements. This means you'll have to use your truth bullets to refute what they say. Out of all the truth bullets you find during your investigation, only the relevant ones will be loaded into the truth cylinder. Use the left stick to move vertical, triangle to fire. Pay close attention to each character's statements and choose the truth bullets to blast the right ones. Note that if you run out of time, you'll automatically fail, so please be careful. And we got our skill on that will hopefully help us with that. Press options during these arguments, you can review the controls. Good luck and have fun. Thank you.
Why was Byakuya's body in a place like that?
His body was underneath the table.
Can we check the controls a sec? Move, aim, move silencer, L1 select. R1 to concentrate. I did that by accident then, so we won't be getting a trophy. That's a bugger. I'm not that bothered, don't get me wrong, but select truth bullet with L1, fire with triangle. That's all we need to know, I think, and circle to fast forward.
At the very back of the dining hall.
After the killer murdered Byakuya, they probably moved the body there. No, that's wrong.
No, I don't think the killer moved the body.
Huh? Why?
Try to remember what the body looked like when we found it under the table. Though there was a lot of blood everywhere, there was no sign the killer actually dragged the body through it.
So that's why you think it's impossible that the killer moved the body. I see. I get your point.
Oh, and here I thought I had a genius idea.
Too bad you're so stupid and boring and unpopular. Your life is meaningless.
I respond better to praise, you know.
But if the killer didn't move the body, why was it under the table?
Byakuya was probably killed under the table.
What? You think he was killed under the table?
So Byakuya snuck under the table for reasons unknown, and that's when he was killed. Then, shortly thereafter, we found his body under the table.
That does make sense, but why did he go under the table?
Obviously, he was hiding so he could surprise us. That dude was always a big jokester.
The hell he was? You seriously couldn't tell what kind of person he was? Maybe he panicked during the blackout and dove under the table.
It's a blackout, not an earthquake. Just because the power went out doesn't mean he'd dive under the table.
The reason why is probably connected to what Byakuya was doing during the party, don't you think?
The reason Byakuya dove under the table, if it's connected to what Byakuya was doing during the party, then it's probably... What the hell? I didn't even press X and it went to that. But it's the knife.
I can prove it with this! It probably has something to do with the knife we found under the table.
Knife? Oh, you mean that thing that obviously screams, I am the murder weapon!
Byakuya probably noticed the knife was hidden there, so in order to get it, he moved under the table.
He was particularly sensitive to the presence of dangerous items, so I cannot deny that possibility. But how did he notice that there was a knife under the table?
If he knew beforehand, he probably would have done something about it before the blackout, right? Then, instead of knowing about it beforehand, maybe he saw it right at that moment. Like, for example, He might have seen someone trying to take the knife out from under the table.
No, that's not possible.
What? You seem rather confident about that.
Of course. I have proof to back me up.
This is almost like a real trial!
During the previous statement, there was only one weak spot. Scratch my ear. There we go. But from this point on, there will be various weak spots standing in your way. No matter how many weak spots there are, there will be only one lie or contradiction in the debate at a time. This means there will be false weak spots. If you shoot a false weak spot with a truth bullet, not only will you fail to refute what was said, but also lower your trust with everyone, and your influence gauge will take damage. If your influence gauge reaches 0, you will fail, so please be extra careful. You have to rely on your own logic to determine which weak spots are actually lies or mistakes. Also, if you concentrate by holding down R1, you can progress this argument slowly. Please use it whenever you feel like the statements are moving too fast for you to aim. However, this does consume the focus gauge, so please be careful. If you press the options button during an argument, you can move the controls. Good luck and have fun!
I'm sure Byakuya ducked under the table during the blackout.
That sounds correct. If that's the case... During the blackout, Mr. Ham-Hands must have seen the killer take the knife.
But it was super pitch black! It was so dark I couldn't see my food! Byakuya couldn't see in the dark either.
No, that's wrong!
No, Byakuya was probably the only one who was able to see in the dark.
Why do you say that?
He was using those night vision goggles we found under the table. He could have seen what was happening.
So, are you saying Byakuya was the one who used those night vision goggles?
Yeah, that seems to be the case.
Your reasoning is out of focus. No, that's obviously wrong. It should be the other way around.
The other way around?
Seriously? The killer used those night vision goggles, not Byakuya.
Were you surprised by Mahiru's sudden argument? Just between you and me, I was also surprised. Just kidding. I'm sorry. No, when this kind of argument surfaces, you'll go into a one-on-one debate called Rebuttal Showdown. This is new. In this mode, you have to counter the other person's claim, draw out their weak spots, and argue against them. Please counter the other person's remarks with the left stick. Based on the shape of their remarks, it's important to know whether to cut vertically, sideways, or diagonally. Based on that, you can skew the debate's mood to your advantage. On the other hand, if you ignore the other person's remarks, it will skew towards their advantage. In the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, a number that shows the sharpness of your counter is displayed. It's the number of times you can cut remarks during one round of debate. You lose counter sharpness even if you miss, so please be careful. When mood skews to your advantage for a certain length of time, the other party's argument changes. This means the conversation will develop. If that happens, they'll end up divulging some weak spots. However, you cannot normally cut remarks that contain weak spots. Instead, it'll skew the mood toward the other party's advantage, plus this can be very big. Just like a regular debate, please refute any weak spots with triangle. Of course, if you don't have the correct truth blade, you'll not be able to cut an opponent's remark. What's a truth blade? Terribly sorry, it appears there has been a delay in contacting you. I'll make sure the person in charge contacting you takes a very long vacation. In this mode, truth bullets will be called truth blades. That's about it. Won't be any other changes to your handbook menu. Only the name has changed, but don't you think a change in feeling is important? Press options to get the controls. Good luck and have fun!
If you just use common sense. The killer obviously used those night vision goggles. That's gotta be it.
Where's your proof that the killer used them?
Because if they used night vision goggles, then they could have killed Byakuya even in the dark. In reality, that's what... So those goggles were planned in advance. The killer brought them to the crime scene.
Allow me to cut through those words!
No, Byakuya was definitely the one who brought those night vision goggles.
Definitely? But why?
Inside the Duralumin case Byakuya had with him during the party, we found a smaller case for storing the night vision goggles.
Which means we can assume that the night vision goggles were kept inside that Duralumin case as well.
Woohoo! I said assume! Ibuki never uses such clever language.
Plus, Byakuya was the only one who could have taken the night vision goggles out of the case, since he was carrying it around before the blackout in the first place.
I see. When you put it like that, it makes sense.
Then, was that knife inside the case too? If there were night vision goggles inside, it wouldn't be weird for a knife to be in there too.
It would be weird.
I am weird, aren't I? At times like this, I'd rather be fantasizing about tonight's main dish.
Ew! You totally mean that in a perverted way.
The knife was brought in the Duralumin case along with the night vision goggles too. No, that's not possible. The knife was hidden in the dining hall before the party even started. I should be able to prove it. Okay, if I have a look at the duct tape.
I see! There was duct tape left under the table where the body was found. Huh? Duct tape? They probably hid the knife by duct taping it to the underside of the table.
Oh, so that's why we found duct tape there.
Though Byakuya was thorough, even he couldn't have noticed a weapon taped to the underside of the table.
This may be off topic, but why was Byakuya acting so paranoid? Not only did he bring a self-defense kit, but he...
That's true. He went above and beyond, being a little cautious.
Now that you mention it, that applies to the dangerous items he confiscated as well. It's one thing to be a little cautious, but performing a body check is a bit much.
He probably knew. Someone was planning to commit a murder.
Are you saying he predicted the murder? Could it be? Was he also in possession of the all-seeing eye?
You think so too, right, Hajime?
That's right. Byakuya probably knew there was a possibility that a murder would occur, because he had the murder threat in his room. Where's that too? There we go.
I can prove it with this! Everyone, can you please take a look at this?
Be careful, the first kill will happen tonight. Someone will definitely kill someone.
Hey, the hell is this?
Hajime and I found this in Byakuya's cottage.
It looks like a threatening letter someone sent to him.
So, who's the someone?
Nobody besides Monokuma would write such a dumb, threatening letter like that.
Wasn't me!
Are you sure?
The only lies I tell are friendly lies!
Those are still lies!
It doesn't matter who wrote it yet. So, Byakuya became paranoid because of this threatening letter?
He probably decided to throw a party because of the letter.
What do you mean?
By gathering everyone in one place, he tried to create a situation where everyone could keep tabs on each other. In doing so, he tried to put the writer of the letter in a situation where they couldn't act.
But the letter might have been just a little prank.
As long as he was determined not to let any of us die, he couldn't take that risk. His strong sense of responsibility made him believe the letter was legitimate.
He should have told us he received a threatening letter.
If he had, we would have panicked. Byakuya probably knew that too.
So, he tried to do something about it without telling anyone?
I see. Strong sense of responsibility as our leader was his undoing. Screw that noise! Who the hell wrote that letter? Well, obviously, the killer.
The killer? Is it really one of us? Who is it? Among us, who's the one who killed Byakuya?
Enough already! Show yourself, you coward!
If they were willing to come forward, they never would have committed a murder in the first place.
But I still can't believe it. Someone in the room killed Byakuya. There's no way I can believe that yet.
Pardon me. Can I say something, please?
What is it, Miss Sonia?
I regret that I must return to this topic, but I just realized something concerning the night vision goggles. If Byakuya was indeed wearing those goggles, how did the killer manage to navigate in the dark?
You're right. They wouldn't have been able to see anything without the night vision goggles. But if the murderer had the goggles when they took the knife, then how did Byakuya see them?
Even if the knife bore some sort of mark, it would have been difficult to see it in that darkness.
No, the killer definitely used the mark. And because of this mark, the killer was able to get the knife from under the table into his hands. And he saw because glowing paint. Glow in the dark.
See! What if the glowing paint was the mark? With that, you'd be able to get the knife even in the dark. In actuality, the knife we found under the table and the duct tape stuck to the underside of the table were both marked with glowing paint, right?
Does that mean the killer painted them in advance?
But painting them with glowing paint? It's as if they knew the blackout was going to happen.
They had to have already known. That's why they used the glowing paint as a mark. Which means whoever set up the blackout is the killer.
That seals it. The killer is whoever was in the office with the circuit breaker. Which means it was you, Peko Pekoyama!
Peko killed poor Byakuya? Was this island not big enough for 2 glasses wearers? I'm not the killer. Oh, I guess she's not.
How can you believe her so easily?
But with Peko's height, I don't think she'd be able to reach the circuit breaker in the office.
I don't care about a technicality like that. Peko's the one who tripped the breaker and caused the blackout.
By tripping the breaker directly from the office, Peko was the one who caused the blackout. Is that really what happened? After this debate, blue-coloured weak spots will start appearing. Recall the weak spots you've seen up until now argue spots. The blue-coloured ones will be called agree spots. When shooting agree spots with truth bullets, you need to flip your way of thinking. Instead of arguing that the other person's testimony contains lies, please fire the truth bullets to prove the other person's testimony is correct, so you prove it right if you go for the blue ones. When the truth bullets merge with their weakness, it will become a logically sound agreement. Isn't it a little hot in here? No, and you must infer whether it's best to argue or agree based on what's being debated. If you press options to get controls, good luck and have fun.
Since Peko was in the office, she could have caused the blackout at any time! Crap! Since Peko was in the office, she could have caused the blackout at any time!
That's impossible.
Huh? Why is it impossible?
Because I was not in the office. Not even before the blackout.
I agree with that. No, I think Peko is telling the truth.
Don't tell me you're crushing on Peko.
And yet it's nothing like that at all. Nekomaru's account is actually Peko's alibi.
I've been trying to use it many times, but the door just won't open at all.
It's true. Someone was occupying the bathroom for a long time shortly after the party started, and it was finally freed up after Byakuya's body was discovered.
Then the person who was in the bathroom that whole time was actually...
Everyone else besides Peko was in the dining hall after the party started, right?
I see. So there's no way anybody else could have locked themselves in the bathroom except Peko.
I guess that would be... true.
You locked yourself in the commode? You should have said so earlier!
There's no way she'd actually say that. Gosh, you're so insensitive.
If she locked herself in the bathroom for that long, there's no doubt. It's shit. Oh, there's no way she'd admit it. There's no way she'd admit she was taking a shit.
Hey, weren't you guys taught any basic manners? Or were you raised in a locker room?
I'm sorry.
It's fine. How about we stop talking about this and move on to something else?
Don't worry. The smell wasn't that strong. I used the bathroom right after you, so you can trust me.
I said it's fine.
But still, you were in the bathroom for a really long time. Did you get food poisoning or something?
As soon as I stepped into the office, I felt this sudden rush of pain in my stomach. Because of that, I was unable to leave the bathroom, including when the blackout occurred.
Hey, how did it feel to do your business in the dark? Did you get excited? Seriously, stop it.
But still, your stomach pain. Was that really just a coincidence?
Hey, what's the deal? Don't butt into other people's business, especially if you didn't do any investigating.
I'm only butting in because you fucking idiots are out of your element.
stop this childish nonsense. Just what do you mean by coincidence?
What I mean is it possible someone slipped her some laxatives?
Laxatives?
If so, the killer could have tripped the breaker as soon as that girl left the office, don't you think?
I see. That might have happened.
The question is whether Pecco's stomachache was a coincidence or someone intentionally caused it. Depending on the answer, the outcome of this trial could change drastically.
Did you eat anything weird?
I don't remember eating anything weird. Now that you mention it... You brought food to the office, right? Just a little bit from the dining hall.
There might have been some laxatives in it, don't you think?
No, that's wrong!
No, it's impossible that laxatives were slipped into the food in the dining hall. Because Pecco wasn't the only one who ate that food. Akane ate some of it too.
If the food had laxatives in it, I'm pretty sure Akane would have had stomach issues as well.
I feel totally fine.
Like I said, the dishes are innocent. Don't go making weird accusations.
I apologize for causing a scene. Fuyuhiko should apologize, not you. He's the one who made the laxative accusation.
What the fuck did you say, bitch?
Is this bickering? Let's just dismiss Pecco's stomachache as a coincidence and go back to discussing the blackout.
Yeah. We already know that, you trashy skank. You don't have to tell us.
Trashy skank?
As long as the murder happened during the blackout, then the blackout itself is what's actually important. So we need to make it clear how that blackout occurred.
Who tripped the breaker and how did they do it? If you can't answer that, I'm gonna bop you on the head.
Did they throw a stone and hit it?
Maybe they used a remote control?
They probably messed with the breaker. It does not have to be the breaker. They may have tampered with the power supply and transmitters. Or maybe they caused a power surge?
I agree with that!
It's just as Mahiru said. The blackout was caused by a power surge. Of course, that's not a coincidence. Someone caused it intentionally.
Which is why those 3 irons were arranged to cause the blackout.
When you found them right after the blackout, the irons were still on, right?
So by leaving those irons on in the storage room, they deliberately caused a power surge.
Yeah, it seems that's how the killer caused the blackout.
Stupid fool! Hold on a second, let me speak too!
What the heck?
You say the irons in the storage room were used to trigger the blackout? That's inexcusable! If the irons in the storage room caused the blackout, then for the killer to turn the irons on, you're saying they went all the way to the storage room? And that means everyone who was in the dining when the blackout occurred can't be a suspect. If the irons in the storage room caused the blackout, then for the killer to turn the irons on, you're saying they went all the way to the storage room? And that means everyone who was in the dining when the blackout occurred can't be a suspect.
No, just because people were in the dining hall doesn't mean they're not a suspect.
But the people in the dining hall weren't able to cause the blackout. If the...
Allow me to cut through those words!
The irons are just one reason the blackout occurred, but they weren't the direct trigger. The direct trigger was when the air conditioners in the dining hall and office clicked on.
Air conditioners!
The timers for both air conditioners were set to 11:30 p.m.
11:30 p.m. Mr. Ham-Hands died around that time too!
I see. When the timers activated the air conditioners, the breaker was tripped and caused a blackout. I see! I understand! Indubitably!
Indubitably?
They probably checked the old building's energy usage in advance and used the irons to nearly max it out. So once they set the air conditioner's timers, they just had to wait until they started up on their own.
If so, even if Pekka was in the office, it still would have been possible to cause a blackout, indubitably.
Indubitably? Miss Sonia, not you too.
Regarding the energy usage, they probably asked Monokuma about it.
Dun dun dun!
Is she right? Such a hateful bear! You deserve to die 1,000 deaths!
1,000, you say? If I died that many times, I might really stay dead, you know?
Shut up! You guys just stay quiet!
I couldn't have prevented the blackout even if I was in the office. Even so, I feel regret. If I was in the office, I could have reset the breaker in time. And maybe the murder wouldn't have occurred.
No, the breaker in the office was built into a high area of the wall that's impossible to reach. Resetting the breaker in that darkness would have been impossible, no matter what.
Sounds like you don't need to blame yourself.
Even so, the killer is so sly. I'm starting to worry we may never actually find them.
It's alright. You don't have to worry. Because they're just a petty killer, right? They can't defeat symbols of hope like you guys.
Huh?
There's no way everybody will lose now. This little incident will just be a stepping stone for you all. In the end, hope always wins. That's what I believe.
Nagito? What happened to you?
Huh? What do you mean?
Well, you have been saying this whole time that there's no way a killer could be among us.
Oh, is that so? Well, let's just put that minor detail aside for now and talk about the incident. For now, we found out how the blackout occurred. But the question is, who caused it, right? Anybody could have hid and set the timers for the air conditioners. Setting up the irons in the storage room could have been done before Byakuya set foot in the old building. What a shame. Any one of us is capable of that.
What are you implying?
He's just saying, after all this time, we still haven't made any progress.
Huh? Even though we have been arguing for so long?
Unfortunately, this is the truth. Despite the fact that we've discussed this at length, there's not even one clue that leads to the killer. But that might be because there's no way any of us could be a killer.
You're changing your story again?
Anyway, I have an idea about what we all should do at this point. Has anyone thought about our situation like this? Instead of surviving by doubting others, isn't it better to get killed for believing in others?
Doesn't that mean... Are you saying we should all just give up and die?
Nagito, there's definitely something wrong with you.
You guys only think there's something wrong with me because there's something wrong with you. Suspecting each other like this. There's no way that's healthy behavior. Let's stop this already. We don't have to find out who the killer is. I can't stand this anymore. I don't want to do this to my friends.
I don't want to do this either.
Me too! Please, take me home already! I want to go home and eat candy!
Stop it. If everyone acts like this, I'm gonna...
Everyone calm down.
We're all friends, aren't we? There's no way one friend would murder another.
Then why did Byakuya die?
Who cares? Let's just give up already. There are no clues that lead to the killer anyway. Not a single one.
That's wrong, I think.
Did you say something?
'Cause we've already found a clue that might point to who the killer is.
You know who the killer is?
The killer? I don't know. But we do have a clue about a suspicious person. I think.
I see. Then care to tell me, what's this clue you're talking about?
First of all, let's try thinking about how the killer was able to obtain the knife during the blackout.
Didn't we already cover that? They used glowing paint as a mark.
No, not that.
I mean before that.
Before? Is she asking how the killer got close to that table? Even if they had to obtain the knife by relying on the glow from the paint, in order to do that, they needed to get close to that table while it was still dark.
Let's try examining the situation. My hero's diagram might be useful here.
The diagram of where everyone was standing before the blackout, right? Here it is.
Just as I thought, this diagram is the clue. Who the killer is and how they were able to move to the table in the dark. It's clearly shown in the diagram. First we need to discuss how the killer was able to move to that table in the dark. Killer probably used something to help them move in the dark. Let's have a look at the lamp.
Here.
With the wire.
Killer must have used the desk lamp to move to that table in the dark.
The desk lamp? I hope you don't mean they turned on a light or something.
There was a blackout. There's no way the killer could have used the desk lamp.
Of course, there's no way they used the desk lamp's light. The killer actually used, in order to sort of follow the way along, the power cord.
I can prove it with this! They didn't turn the desk lamp on. They used its power cord.
Power cord?
They could have felt their way to that table using the power cord, right? By doing that, the killer was able to move to the table and use the glowing paint to find the knife.
And there's only one person here who could have done that.
Who?
The only person here who could have possibly done it. Well, who was doing all the cleaning and stuff and had time to prepare it all.
You're the only one! Nagito, it was you, wasn't it?
Me?
Judging from everyone's positions before the blackout, the only person near the power cord was you.
Which means the only one who could have felt their way to the table using the power cord was Nagito!
That's just a coincidence.
But still, you had a chance, right? A chance to hide the knife under the table?
Nagito's chance to hide the knife under the table was... when he was cleaning.
I see! Nagito, weren't you cleaning the dining hall all morning? If so, you would have had a chance to hide the knife.
That's...
If you factor in the power cord and the time you spent cleaning, you're the only one who could have done it.
Seriously! That's all just a coincidence!
If it was just one coincidence, it'd be fine. But when it's one right after another, I wonder, is something like that even possible?
Could it be? Did you give yourself cleaning duty on purpose so you could hide the knife under the table?
Now that you mention it, Nagito did prepare the drawing to pick who cleaned the dining hall.
To be honest, I already prepared a drawing because I assumed something like this would happen. To go to the trouble of preparing this, just what did you think would happen? Whoever draws the dropstick with a red mark on it will be in charge of cleaning, okay? Does that sound fair?
You rigged the drawing, didn't you? That's how you got picked to clean the dining hall, isn't it?
I don't know if you're the killer or not, but regardless, it proves that you're suspicious, right?
If that's the case, that strange speech you made earlier, that was part of your plan too.
You got us to lower our guard and tried to hide the fact that you did it, didn't you, you motherfucker?
Well, just admit it already!
Nagito, tell me you object to this. Frankly, I don't want to believe it either. We investigated together. You were so kind. I can't believe you're the one who killed Byakuya. Nagito, say something!
The Ultimates are working together to combat the despair of their friend's death! How wonderful! How beautiful it is!
Huh?
Those eyes. That moment, Nagito's eyes. The darkness in his eyes shone brightly, as if layers upon layers of darkness were folding into each other. As if hope and despair had been crudely mixed together.
Let's cut to the chase. You're correct. It was my doing all along. I'm the one who hid the knife under the table before the party started. I'm the one who used the power cord to find my way to the table in the dark. And of course, I'm the one who caused the blackout.
Oh, and now the story's starting to get good. And it sounds like Nagito is a huge suspect. But I'm going to end things off there, because we're not quite done with the class trial yet. Quite done. This has been Greeny XI. Hope you've enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time when we see what Nagito has got to say for himself. And we get to see... Well, I'm hoping we'll be able to do the rest of the trial, but I'm not so sure. We'll see. Thanks again for watching, folks. See you again in a bit.